everyone, welcome to part 1 of 2 videos about Job, God, and the whole universe. Whoa. Even though we're not all in the same space, we're still gonna learn about this together. So I think you know what to do. If you are a kid in the sanctuary, you'll come up front to the TV. And if you're a kid at home, you'll get as close to your screen as possible. But to get there, you can either roll like a pumpkin or dance like a leaf. You choose. Ready, steady, go! So today, we're gonna meet a man named Job. It's spelled like job, but it's pronounced Job. Job is the main character in a super long book about wisdom in the Old Testament. And it's pretty much just a lot of talking between Job and his friends, as they all have different answers to this really big question. Why do bad things happen in our world? And spoiler alert, the Bible never gives us an answer. Classic Hebrew literature, am I right? But it sure gives us a lot to think about. Have you ever wondered this question? So let's take a look. Our story today comes from Job, chapter 38, verses 1 through 7, and 34 through 36. Job was feeling sad, mad, and confused. He didn't know why he was suffering from a lot of loss and pain, because he had been kind and loving his whole life. Finally, he cried out, "Why is this happening?" Job's friends tried to help him figure it out, but their answers didn't help. Job wanted an answer from God about why he was suffering. Suddenly, a swirling wind showed up. It was God. Did God have an answer for Job? God answered Job's question with a lot more questions. Who created the earth and filled the sky with stars? Can you tell the lightning where to go? Can you count the clouds or use your voice to make it rain? God saw Job's hurt and helped him see there was so much in our world humans cannot understand. Our brains are only as big as our skulls, but God's knowledge and wisdom are larger than the never-ending universe. So, God doesn't really answer Job's question, does she? Sometimes it's hard to know what to do with stories like this. Like, wouldn't it be easier if God showed up and was just like, Great question, Job. And the answer is really quite simple. The reason bad things are happening in our world is because But God doesn't do that. Raise your hand if you're a human. Now, raise your hand if you've ever designed and created an ever-expanding universe, from the largest collection of galaxies down to the smallest atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons, quarks, and whatever else is smaller than that. No one? Cool. So maybe part of being human is to not know everything. And maybe that's not a bad thing. Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. Part of being human is to not know everything. And maybe that's not a bad thing. Because if we knew everything, we would never get to ask questions. We would never get to Curiosity? What's that? Discovery? Exploration? Experiments? Hypotheses? Who needs those? And this might be great news or terrible news, but there would be no school forever because we already know everything and therefore we don't have to learn anything. That would be pretty boring. Because I don't know about you, but I love to learn new things. Like, have you ever learned something new and then your brain was all like, what? Hashtag mind blown. That would never happen if we weren't humans with a limited capacity for knowledge and understanding. So here's an I'll play question for you. What is something really cool that you've learned about recently? Maybe from school or a book or a TV show or a podcast? And what is something you've always been curious to learn more about? You can share your answers out loud or you can type them in the chat. What is something really cool you've learned recently? And what is something you've always been curious to learn more about? Give me an L, E, A, R, N, I, another N, G. What's that spell? Learning! Yay, learning! So if you are a kid in the sanctuary, join us in the Wiggle Space after announcements for a fun activity all about learning. And if you are a kid at home, look out your window. What is the weather like today? And then learn about what's happening in the Earth's atmosphere. Is it cloudy? Find out what kinds of clouds are in the sky. Is it raining? Learn about the water cycle. Is it sunny? Explore how photosynthesis works. I'm so glad we got to spend this time together. I love to see your curious brains at work. Don't forget to tune in next week as we learn about Job's response to God's response to Job. Thanks for learning with me, and thanks for being you. See you next time.